with the covert agency targeting and all that kind of thing that went on. But we've been assaulted by this UFO.
Can I just? Why did it assault you? Do you know why?
That's what I was leading up to.
Yeah. Okay.
So, what had happened since childhood? I'd had early paranormal experiences. I'd had extreme paranormal experiences, and I became to realise, I mean, I'm shot to hell with it now, and I'm probably suffering post-traumatic stress disorder from all these events. I know that I walked away from a very responsible job, from people I have fond memories of. The job, I worked there for 12 years at a certain company, and I left, which is a shame, because I love my job, but I couldn't take it anymore. And so, basically, it all came about because of dealing with forces that I didn't understand, and that gave unwarranted attention. And it's all down to there was a man in the US military remote viewing program, back to Paranormal Espionage again, called Lynn Buchanan. There was Joseph McMonigal, and there was Lynn Buchanan. Lynn Buchanan now does a company called Problem Solutions Innovations, which is to do with remote viewing and the usage of paranormal espionage in terms of looking for missing children and crime-related goings-on. Before he was recruited into that by General Albert Stubblebine, who is in the film The Men Who Stare at Goats, and everybody thinks, what a kooky film that is, isn't that hilarious? The truth of the matter was it was very, very serious what was going on, but that film makes a mockery of it. But before he was recruited, he managed to, he had the power and the ability to manipulate things with his mind. And he had the power to, so the story goes in his autobiography, Seventh Sense, which is a good read. He brought down the whole of NATO's computer in 1980, the whole of NATO's computer equipment, mechanisms, and so on and so forth. The spooky thing is to how they knew it was him. And this is a repeated theme, how they knew it was him. He doesn't go into, but he was brought before the general. The general was aware of what he could do, and more or less said, Buchanan, did you bring down the computer systems? And he said, yes. Blimey. And I developed a similar ability. I was becoming acutely psychically sensitive, acutely psychically powerful. I've used the ability on numerous occasions for the greater good. I've helped people. I've probably stopped a number of suicides. It's not something I talk about in public, and it's not something I may talk about in the mainstream media, as it were, but I used this ability. I became acutely psychic, very powerfully so. And as Lynn Buchanan has said in his autobiography, there is an ability in human beings that is like God's. There is a psychic ability and a latent ability in some people that is triggered, and it can be very godlike and very powerful indeed. Blimey. And that would attract UFOs. That definitely would attract them. Yeah, it definitely would bring them in, a human being with power at that level. Yeah. And so I went and did something. I was so angry on this day. I was so angry with all that was going on. My mind was being invaded, this, that, and the other. I had these strange abilities. And I'm shot to hell with it now, but at the time. And I recall I went and did something with this ability that I had for the wrong reasons, because I thought that somebody specifically was targeting me. So I thought, right, I'm going to hit you with this. I've had enough.
Both barrels.
And both barrels, and that's what I did. And as a result of that, it could have been absolutely disastrous.
What did you do, Tony?
I cannot say, and I will not say. I will just say that it's a matter of it's a confidential matter what I did. But needless to say, what is spooky about it is I got an anonymous text message from, I believe it was somebody in authority or somebody in the intelligence services, stating exactly what I'd done. Yeah. Could I please not do it again? Thank you. Well, was the message.
That's good to have good manners.
Yeah, probably British, because it was very polite. But whoever it was aware of what I'd done, and I was aware of what I'd done. I'll leave it as a mystery to your listeners as to what that was. But it's all to do with power and the irresponsible use of power. And power does not come via occult means. You get all these people in secret societies and so on and so forth, and they join these secret societies for powerful means and purposes. They're initiated into ceremonies. People do occult practices. No. It's not about that. It's a latent power, and the power of intention is more powerful than any occult spell. And in some human beings, it is more powerful, the power of intention, than it is in others. And that's why I was targeted.
Well, what kind of powers are we talking about, though, Tony? You said it's more than remote viewing. I mean, what kind of things are you doing?
It was influencing. I was influencing events. I was influencing people. I was suddenly having power cuts in the bloody house because I'd walk past somewhere, and if I was angry, there were certain factors that would trigger. And if I was angry, the bloody power would go off in the house, or the power would go off somewhere. And what would happen was this ability was getting a bit like a Medusa touch type ability. Yeah. Now, people may say, well, that's just total crap. I mean, I've never heard so much crap in all my life. The trouble is that you were not me. You haven't lived my experiences. I'm looking at my website now. There's an actual UFO coming in over my house. The UFOs were coming in because they knew exactly what was going on, and so on and so forth. And what was even bizarre about this was that the covert targeting that I underwent by these covert people, they knew as well. The only guy who didn't know what was going on was me. I was the only man in all this that didn't know what was going on. I was damn angry because of it, and still am. I'm the only man who didn't know what was going on, but everybody else seemed to. It's like a black comedy. It's like Forrest Gump. It's absolutely unbelievable that a guy on a housing estate who has a responsible job and was doing quite all right manages to get himself into this extraordinary situation that at times he doesn't want to be in, and that's me.
I mean, how did it start, Tony? Where was the first thing that happened?
Childhood did too. It started when I. Yeah, I mean, I remember screaming at my father. Yeah. I'm going to put something on my website about my early years that I was going to write for a book. And I remember screaming at my father, saying that something's walked through a wall. And my father's going, well, I couldn't talk. So what had happened was, I can see myself now, my memory's quite photographic, I'm screaming at my father, trying to point at the wall. My father's going, oh, no, that's not correct, son. And I remember distinctly screaming my head off, because I bit my tongue as well, with all the frustration and anger at what I'd seen. I'm 2 years of age, and I can't seem to comprehend what's going on. And this continually happened all through my adult years into where I am now. And my father was a psychic. I mean, my father, my God, he was a healer, and if I was a naughty boy, he would give me severe headaches. I mean, he'd put me out on the bed with headaches, and so psychic. I mean, I remember once he even blew down a local cinema. He said, something had happened to my mother. In a nutshell, and what had happened had been related to the local cinema where she worked. She was accused of something that she had not done, and my father was most annoyed by this. The cinema went out of business and was derelict. There was nobody in it. But my father just said one evening, I'm going to burn the place down, closed his eyes, and the boiler room blew up in the cinema.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so you can see there's this absolute history, black comedy history, going through me and my family of psychic goings on. And it became at one point, I was worried for my sanity with it all, worried for my safety with it all, and worried because they had covert intelligence people following me. And this has all gone on for a number of years. Things have settled down now, though. I take no nonsense off anyone, and things in that area have settled down with them. But the UFO situation and the hostile targeting around that is a very complex one. Dates back to 1950 with the US intelligence, and it's not complex. You begin to understand how it all fits together, and you realise that the payoff, the reward, is to understand all about peaceful and friendly alien contact.